Well, we're finally ready to unpack it. The verse that we've talked about. The text is Hebrews 10:25. Quote, "Don't give up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." The kind of meeting together being talked about in the context of that book as a whole has always and only been as a local church. See the definition of church in the introduction if you need it. Gathering a handful of believers for coffee or bowling or even Bible study or prayer is wonderfully, wonderfully valuable. Do it. But it is absolutely no substitute for the hundreds, if not thousands of blessings and spiritual transactions that take place when a local church family comes together as a whole for worship, prayer, teaching, and fellowship. It's kind of a weird command if you think about it. I mean, the wording, don't give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing. I mean, what's with that last part, as some are in the habit of doing? What was going on in these church families? How come some of them were actually getting into the habit of not being there regularly? Was it their work schedule? Was it over busyness? Did they get into it with another church family member? Was something about one of the leaders irritating them? Did Frank's breath get worse? We really can only guess, but it doesn't seem too hard to come up with something. None of us are above them. We're the same as them. Prone to wander, prone to drift, prone to get offended, prone to get too busy. We all know it. And sometimes we all need that anchoring voice of Jesus to speak clearly and authoritatively like he does here. We're not as strong as we think we are. Even when we know something is in our best spiritual and holistic interests, sometimes we just can't seem to pull it off. And in those times, a suggestion just isn't strong enough. Sometimes we literally need it to be a command from the King, a loving but unwatered down command to keep us tethered to his body. And that's what he gives us here. I say, let's thank him. Let's humbly thank Jesus for his wisdom and love in giving us a command here. And let's let it move us to simply obey, to make whatever adjustments are needed, throw off whatever is getting in the way, and humbly, simply respond to the voice of Jesus. He is always a kind shepherd, even when his voice rings strong with a command. Congratulations! You found another one of the hidden tracks. Let's face it, we get out of tune on our own. So, I've got these 2 sweet little Jasmine guitars at a room at church, right? Every week, someone puts them on the heat register, and every week, I take them down and retune them. It's annoying, but I put up with it. Now, some weeks, I first do a quick ear test and then just play a G chord to see if it really needs tuning or not. Well, today I tried the first guitar, and it sounded okay, but the second one sounded off. So I retuned it with my digital tuner, and I was going to just leave the first one because, like I said, it sounded alright. But since I already had the tuner out, I took the first one and just played a G note just to see if my ears were correct that it was in tune. So I played it using the digital tuner now, and oh my word, it was so far off. Now, the other strings were just as far off as the G string, so it actually sounded balanced, and it was. It was balanced, but completely out of tune. So I retuned it, and then I restrummed that G chord, and oh my word, it was noticeably more beautiful. It sounded so good. And if you're a music nerd like me, and you know what I mean, it actually even felt so good. Like something that had been out of joint was now back in joint. Like something in the universe that was just wrong was now back to being in harmony. It was beautiful. And that's like us. We tune ourselves when we get together as a church family. Spend too much time away from your church family, and you may sound good to yourself, but I guarantee you, you're probably way out of tune. Just like the second law of thermodynamics states that things naturally get out of order if you leave them alone for too long, it's the same with us. Each guitar and each person gets out of tune when it's away from the others. Period. Listen to Philippians 2:1 and 2. If you have any encouragement from being united with Christ, if you have any comfort from His love, if any fellowship with the Spirit, if you have any tenderness and compassion, then make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and in purpose, unquote. Be like-minded, he pours out his heart and says to us. Be like-minded. Be one together. Stay in tune with each other. I don't know why, but it brings Jesus joy. It satisfies something in his heart. It just plain feels good to him. And it makes your own life keep that beautiful tune and balance that Jesus designed it to have.